Um, I look as good as I feel. um, I've just been at the hospital for 4.5 hours, and and it's an hour and a half's drive home afterwards. Holy shit balls! I've got my date. They've got a heart valve for me, and now I've got a date for my surgery, and it's on the 17th of December. So, and I love Christmas. Like, my house is Christmas. I love it. There's the tiniest little chance I could be out before Christmas, but there's also highly likely that I won't, which is fine. I'm not gonna lie, they scared the living shit out of me. I had to. Kitty. Hello, Cody, you're so handsome. Look at how handsome my beautiful kitty is. My God, he's got eyes as big as saucers. My mum was calling. That's my phone ringing. Sorry, Mum. I'll get back to you. Get out of my dinner. So, I had to sign the consent forms today, and the doctor scared the living shit out of me, to be honest, which made me question what I was doing with this surgery. And then I proceeded to do a lot of research and listen to some great, God, YouTube's amazing for, you can watch the fucking surgery happen, and the just information is everywhere, and it really changed it took my fear away pretty quickly. So here's what happened. Usually when you have my heart defect, they replace the valve with either a mechanical valve or a cow valve or a pig valve. Now, these work quite well for a little while, and then they just progressively deteriorate over time. So they'll last about 10 years. But each time you have the surgery done, it increased the risks, and it's harder to do because it's been operated on before. So the risk goes up each time. So the procedure itself is much more simple. It is much more risk-free to do. Excuse me. But the long-term outcome isn't as good. So with the one that they want to do on me, the reason why the doctor scared me is he said, look, this surgery is very, very technical to do. Not many people do it. There's only 2 surgeons in Melbourne that do it. And there's a small % chance that things could go wrong. And when things do go wrong, they tend to go catastrophically wrong. Because what they're doing is he described to me, we're taking you've got a problem with a valve in your heart, and we're going to create 2 problems with 2 valves in your heart, because they're moving one and then they're putting a donor valve in. So that scared me, and it was interesting because my actual heart surgeon, who is not who I met with today, I met with him a few days ago, he said to me, when you go to the hospital, they are going to tell you all kinds of things which will scare you. And he goes, I want you to only listen to what I tell you. So that was really interesting, actually. And he said, because a lot of them there are just registrars. They are working there, but they aren't performing the surgeries. They're not even performing heart surgery. And they don't really know the ins and outs of it all. So you might hear potentially a lot of things that might discourage you or scare you, and I want you to ignore all of them. which I just find really interesting and funny. But I kind of get what he's saying. So when I went there and I did all the thing, oh my God, it was really intense. I had to have bloods, ECG, x-rays, meet with the anaesthetist, meet with the nurse, meet with the transplant coordinator, meet with the heart research coordinator. There was more. I just can't think of what it is. And it was just a really massively long day. And the consent signing was at the end. And that's where he told me about the 4% chance of things going catastrophically wrong. It's only 4%. I thought it'd be more, to be honest. But then I started to question, is this the right surgery? Should I just be getting the more simple procedure? And then as I said, I watched these excellent videos and it just changed my mind completely. And now I fully understand the reason why I'm getting this procedure, even though it's really hard to do and a little bit risky to do. So as I said, when you get a synthetic valve or a bovine or porcine valve or an allograft valve, the surgery is easy. They don't have a long outcome, and each surgery you have brings more and more complications. The surgery that I'm getting, 98% of people who get it are alive and well 20 years later and have a normal life expectancy, which is amazing. That's incredible. So the surgery is risky and it's going to take a lot longer, but if it goes right, it's going to fix me properly and hopefully indefinitely. I'm actually about to watch the actual surgical procedure, and I love that about YouTube. And look, I'm a vet nurse, and I've done lots of like I'm in theatre and doing surgeries on animals with vets all the time. So I like to understand things, and I'm used to seeing how things work and how they're performed, and so I told the doctor that's what I was going to do. I'm going to go home and I'm going to watch the procedure, and he said don't. But I hadn't told him that I'm a vet nurse and that I'm pretty okay with all of that kind of stuff, and that seeing it will help me to understand exactly what they're going to do, and I am actually about to watch the procedure. I'm going to watch both. I'm going to watch the simple one that doesn't last very long, and I'll watch the complex one that I'm getting. They'll last a long time. And he sort of just said, we really want you to have a good long-term outcome and a long life after this. And, you know, if we put the mechanical valve in, you're on blood thinners your whole life, which causes all kinds of long-term health problems, just all that sort of stuff. You kind of become a chronic patient, really. And you're not fixing the issue long-term. And I know that this surgery isn't, if I was 65, sorry, Granny, I'll call you back. If I was 65, they would just put a cow valve in me and it would potentially do me for the rest of my life. But I'm not 65, I'm 49, and I'm going to need it now, and I'm going to need it again, and I'm going to need it again, and I'm going to need it again. And that just compromises my long-term survival rate. So if 98% of people are alive 20 years later with a full life expectancy, the outcome for the animal valves and the mechanical valve is that in 20 years' time, 80% of the patients are still alive. Okay, so that means that in 20 years, 20% of those people have died from it, and I don't want that. So I'm just doing it. I'm doing it. It's happening on the 17th. I have been told that I am going to feel like I've been hit by a truck, and then I'm going to have a long recovery process, and then I will hopefully be able to get my life back, which is just, I can't tell you how fucking exciting that is. I can't tell you how sick I've been and how I've been existing at about, and they asked me that today, how out of 100, how unwell do you feel you are? And it was a really hard question. And I answered 80% unwell. I definitely reckon I'm functioning only on about 20% of everything. And I have been that way for a long time. And it's taken away so much of everything. Work, friends, doing things, being a mum, my animals. It's everything I do is hard from the minute I wake up. I wake up, I'm literally nauseous and sick and glued to my bed for at least 2 hours. So I can't just get up and get out of bed. I have to lay there and fucking just be really unwell, you know, until I can get myself going. And once I do get myself going, it's still not good. I'm not going very much. He said that my occlusion is the smallest it can get. So what that means is the blood trying to come out of the heart just can't, and in fact it's going back in. And what that does is it leads to embolisms that kill people. And that happens all the time, and that is what would have happened to me. Sorry, my dog's just knocking over my cupboard. If I didn't know about it and know that I have it. So hopefully between now and less than 2 weeks away now, I don't have an embolism. They can't put me on blood thinners because I'm bleeding. Remember, this defect got discovered because I was on an emergency surgery list to have my bleeding and endometriosis surgically fixed. I've been bleeding for 6 months straight. So if you put me on blood thinners, I'm just going to bleed out even more. So he just told me to take it easy, not do too much, don't do all going upstairs and incline and pushing yourself and all that sort of stuff. So I literally have something on every single day, apart from tomorrow, every single day. Sorry, everyone, my phone is just going bananas, and I'm just going to have to get back to everyone in a minute. What was I saying? I can't even remember. I'm so bloody tired. What else? Oh yeah, I've got something on every day. So in order to have this done, you have to go to a dentist and be signed off that you have no infections or cavities. And hi Naughty. I want you to meet my dog. Naughty, is you the most handsome, beautiful, life-saving boy in the whole world that just wants to eat my pad thai, but you're gorgeous. And I love you. And I will save you some, I promise. I thought, I'm so fucking tired. Oh yeah, I've been avoiding the dentist for 10 years. I got good teeth, but then I knew that when I was sick, really sick, I just couldn't care for them like I used to. And so I got 4 holes, and they all have to be filled before my procedure. So get this, I've got 3 separate appointments. One day, I go in, I get the needles, get the teeth filled, and then the next day I go in at 9:30 in the morning and get teeth filled, and then they wait for the anaesthetic. I go and have to wait for the numbness to go away, and then I come back in at 3 o'clock and they do it on the other side, and then I go to the hospital the next morning for my surgery. So it's literally an appointment every day, and things that I'm not looking forward to, and bit by bit I'm sort of getting everything ticked off that I have to do to have this massive surgery. Naughty, are you a hottest boy? The aircon will be on. The aircon's on. It's just, I've just gotten home. So, So yeah, they've got me a donor valve. I'm having the surgery done and I'm shitting my pants, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm looking so forward to the outcome, and you know, bring it on. I'm ready. I'm ready just to put my life in their hands, because I've got no quality of life the way it is now, and I'm at permanent risk of having an embolism at any minute. And I'm a mum, a single mum. So that's what's going on, and I know there was heaps more that I wanted to share, but I can't remember what it is, so that's fine. I'll go for now, and maybe I'll add something, I don't know. But yeah, I'm about to watch I'm going to watch both procedures. I'm going to watch the simple one, and then I'm going to watch the one I'm getting, and I just want to know. The scariest part for me is having my chest cracked open. Like, that just fucking Jesus makes me not quite as scared as going to the dentist. I can't believe I'm more scared of the dentist than I am of having my chest cracked open, having open heart surgery. Yeah. Okay. That's it. That's the update.